What's invisible and can make you dance?
Believe it or not, there's an invisible force that can get your feet tapping and your body swaying without you even realizing it. This unseen power is none other than music. You may wonder, how can we feel the beat if it's invisible? Well, it's all thanks to sound waves that travel through the air and reach our ears. These sound waves are created when an object vibrates, like the strings on a guitar or the skin of a drum. Once they reach our ears, they are translated into signals that our brains understand as music. And when that happens, it's not uncommon to find ourselves moving to the rhythm. What's even more fascinating is that even though we can't see music, it can strongly affect our emotions. A happy tune can make us smile, while a sad song might bring a tear to our eye. So the next time you find your foot tapping to a beat, just think about how amazing it is that we can feel the music move us, even though it's completely invisible.
Are elephants really afraid of mice?
You've probably seen in cartoons that the big and mighty elephant is afraid of a tiny mouse. But is that just a funny joke, or is it actually true? Well, it turns out there's a tiny bit of truth to this. While elephants aren't exactly shaking in their boots at the sight of a mouse, they are cautious animals with a keen sense of smell and hearing. They might get surprised if a little critter like a mouse suddenly scampers by. It's not about fear, but more about the element of surprise. So next time an elephant and a mouse cross paths, watch closely. The elephant might just be saying hello in its own gigantic way.
Can you see a rainbow without rain? The sky's playful trick.
Rainbows are like the sky's way of smiling, but did you know you can spot a rainbow even on a dry, sunny day? That's right. There's a special type of rainbow that doesn't need rain at all. It's called a circumhorizontal arc. But wait, it's super rare, and here's why. To see this magical display, the sun has to be super high in the sky, at least 58 degrees above the horizon. Plus, there need to be just the right kind of ice crystals floating in the air, all lined up perfectly. When all this magic happens together, it can create a rainbow that looks like it's painted right across the sky in a broad, bright band. People sometimes even call it a fire rainbow because of how its colors blaze like flames. If you ever get lucky enough to see one, you'll be looking at one of nature's most splendid light shows. So keep your eyes peeled and look to the skies. You might just catch this rare sky art without a raindrop in sight.
Can ants really swim in syrup?
When you think of syrup, you might imagine a sweet, sticky liquid that's perfect for pouring on pancakes. But did you know that for tiny ants, syrup can be like a swimming pool? It sounds crazy, doesn't it? However, ants have a super cool trick that can help them survive even in syrup. Because of their small size and the way their bodies are built, ants don't sink easily in thick liquids like syrup. They can actually float and paddle around because they're so light, and the syrup's thickness helps support them. It's like a sugary life raft. What's really awesome is that ants can also use this to their advantage to get to delicious food sources that might be mixed into the syrup. They have special little hairs on their bodies that repel water and other liquids, which prevent them from getting stuck. So, an ant can take a dip in a syrup pool, grab a snack, and walk away without getting bogged down. Nature sure has some quirky and fascinating ways to help creatures survive and thrive, doesn't it?
Ever met a fish that climbs trees? Discover the reef's acrobat.
Think fish are stuck swimming? Think again. There's a fish that can climb trees, and it's called the mangrove killifish. Found in the mangrove forests of Central and South America, this little fish is a true acrobat of the animal kingdom. When their watery homes dry up, do they give up? Nope. These adventurous fish wriggle out of the water and actually climb trees to find damp places where they can survive without swimming. But how do they actually climb without legs? They use their tail fin to leap and sort of hop along wet branches and roots. It's not exactly climbing like a monkey, but for a fish, it's pretty impressive. And get this, mangrove killifish can even change the way their skin works to breathe air instead of water during their tree-hopping escapades. So next time you pass by a tree, imagine a tiny fish possibly chilling out in a moist nook, taking a break from the ocean life. Nature really does keep surprising us with the wildest survival tricks.
Can ice sing? Tune into nature's coolest concert.
Grab your parkas and earmuffs, because you're about to learn about the coolest, literally, music concert on Earth, and it's performed by ice. Yes, ice can sing. In places like Antarctica, when the temperature and wind are just right, the ice can create hauntingly beautiful songs. It happens because the ice shifts and moves as it expands and contracts. This movement makes the ice layers rub against each other, creating vibrations, which travel through the air like music notes. Some people say it sounds like eerie chimes or an alien symphony, making Antarctica not just the chilliest, but also the most mystical sounding place on the planet. These natural ice melodies are so captivating that actual musicians have hiked out to ice sheets just to record them. They use the ice's natural frequencies to mix into their own music tracks. So, the next time you're sipping a cold drink with ice cubes, just imagine if they started humming a tune. In the frozen corners of our world, the ice is always ready for its next performance.
Is there an underground city built by bugs? The tiny architects revealed?
Did you know that there are tiny architects living right under our feet? We're not talking about elves or fairies, but ants. These little insects are master builders, creating massive underground cities that can stretch over several meters in length and go deep into the earth. These ant metropolises are incredibly complex, with numerous chambers and tunnels, each with a purpose. There are nurseries for baby ants, pantries for food storage, and even special trash chambers for waste. But the real wow factor? Some ant colonies have fungus farms where they grow their own food, and others have graveyards for their fallen friends. And all of this is built with teamwork, without any ant-sized blueprints. Ants communicate with chemicals and vibrations to coordinate their construction projects, proving that you don't need to be big to do big things. Imagine if humans could build like ants. Our cities might look quite different. So, the next time you see an ant, consider the grand design hiding just below its tiny feet.
Could your candy bar come from outer space? The cosmic ingredient.
Imagine biting into a chocolate bar and tasting a hint of the stars. Sound like a fantasy? Well, it's not as far-fetched as you might think. Chocolate contains an element that is literally out of this world: phosphorus. This vital ingredient is necessary for the cacao plants to grow, which gives us the delicious chocolate we all love. But here's the cosmic twist. The phosphorus in our soil comes from star explosions, known as supernovae, that scattered these elements across space billions of years ago. When these stardust particles eventually made their way to Earth, they became part of the soil, helping plants, and thus chocolate, grow. So, with every nibble of a chocolate bar, we're actually enjoying a tiny taste of the universe. Isn't that a sweet and spacey thought? It's a reminder that everything is connected, from the vast cosmos to the treat in your hand. Space lovers and chocolate lovers, rejoice. We're all a little bit celestial.
Mind-blowing trees that talk to each other?
Imagine walking through a forest and hearing whispers, but it's not people talking. It's the trees. Sounds like something out of a fantasy movie, but it's actually real, and it's called the Wood Wide Web. Underneath the forest floor, there's a super complex network of fungi called mycorrhizal networks. These fungi connect different trees by their roots. But why would trees want to chat? Well, they share nutrients, warn each other about dangers like pests, and even send help to sick trees. It's like they have their own secret underground internet. Scientists discovered that bigger, older trees, dubbed mother trees, are like hubs in this network. They are crucial in keeping the forest healthy, supporting young saplings, and keeping the tree community thriving. Next time you hug a tree, think about the invisible world below, where they might be gossiping about how well you hugged. Who knew forests were such chatty places, with trees whispering messages through a hidden natural web?
Can chocolate float in space? Let's unwrap this sweet mystery.
Picture your favorite chocolate bar. Now imagine it floating in space. Sounds wild, right? But here's a fun fact. In space, with no gravity, lots of things can float, even chocolate. Astronauts sometimes enjoy treats like chocolate in space, but they have to eat them carefully. If they don't, the chocolate could break into pieces and float away. Since there's no air resistance, those chocolate bits can zip around and could even get into the equipment. But that's not all. Eating chocolate in space isn't just a floating feast. It can be good for the astronauts. Chocolate can boost their mood and help them feel better in an environment that's really different from Earth. So the next time you enjoy a chocolate bar with your feet on the ground, just think about how it could be soaring through the stars. Follow me for more fun facts.